Hello guys and welcome. In today's video I want to show you how you can manage to score more than 900 points in your CAPSIM simulation. In this case I managed to score 932. Without wasting much of your time, let me show you how you can really ace this simulation. First, the first part that you are going to look at is the research and development. Here you'll have to make decisions in terms of designing your product, not forgetting that you have 5 products in the beginning, so each product has a different market segment. So for instance, Able is in the traditional market segment, Eka is in the low-end market segment, Adam is in the high-end market segment, Aft is in the performance segment, and Agap is in the size segment. Here you'll have to make decisions in terms of performance, size, and mean time before failure. Not forgetting that the revision date and the age at revision, they are being determined indirectly by the decisions that you make in the performance, size, and mean time before failure. Here also the perception map is just a visual representation of how your products are being positioned into the market. So before you make any decision, it's important to go and check into the report to see what are the customer buying criteria of each product in the different market segment. So let us go into the reports. This is in this report. Here we see that we have the traditional market segment. Under the traditional market segment, age is more important with an importance of 47%, while price is the second importance with an importance of 23%. Ideal positioning has an importance of 21%, and reliability has an importance of 9%. Moving downwards, in the low-end market segment, price has an importance of 53%, age has an importance of 24%, ideal positioning has 16% importance, reliability has 7% importance. So in the low-end market segment, the top two criteria that customers will look at are the price and age. In the high-end market segment, here customers want a product with an ideal positioning of performance of 8.9 and size 11.1 with an importance of 43%. Age has an importance of 29%. Reliability or the mean time before failure has an importance of 19%, while price has the least importance of 9%, meaning here customers can really pay premium for the best product that they find in the market. The next is the performance market segment. Under the performance market segment, here reliability has an importance of 43%, ideal positioning has an importance of 29%, price has an importance of 19%, while age has an importance of 9%. Finally, the size market segment. Here we see that ideal positioning has an importance of 43%, age has an importance of 29%, reliability has an importance of 19%, while price has an importance of 9%. So the first decisions that we're going to make is the research and development. So first we are going to start with Able. Here we see Able, you can give it a performance of 6.0 and size of let's say 14. With the mean time before failure of we can increase it to 19,000. Then because customers in the low-end market segment, they want a product that has an ideal age of 7. So if we decide to change the performance and size of the Eka product, we realize that the age is going to be reduced into half, either if we do the mean time before failure, the performance, or the size. So we are not going to change anything there. So we are going to change Adam. So Adam we can give it a performance of 8.9 and a size of 11.1. While we can decide to increase the mean time before failure to, let's say, 25,000. Then next we have the Aft. Aft, we see that is in the performance market segment. We say that we can give Aft a performance of 10.5. So let me give it 10.5. And sorry, so that's not 10.5. So let's say 10.5, sorry for that. Then we can give it a size of 14.8. Let's say 14.8. Then The mean time before failure, we can decide to give it 27 because here customers want a product that is more reliable and has a high performance. Then in the AGAP market segment, in the size market segment, we can give it we can give AGAP a performance of 4.7, and you can give it a size of 9.8. Then the mean time before failure, we can decide to push it up to, let's say, 20,000. Now, and because we want to make sure that we are the market leaders in all the aspects, we want to capture we want to have more sales, which will result into more revenues and more profit. We are going to introduce a new product, so I'll label it as X. So X, because I want X to sell in the size market segment, I'll give it a performance of let's say 5.4 and a size of 8.8 with a mean time before failure of 21,000. So if I hit recalculate, we see that the revision date has popped up and Able is coming out on June. Then Adam is coming out on this is October. Aft is coming out on October. AGAP is coming out on October. Then Axe, which is the new product, is coming out not next year but the other year in June. So those are my decisions in R&D. So let's go to marketing. Under the marketing page, here I'll decide that I'll give all my product a promotion budget of 2,000. So I'll just start with the promo budget. So I'll just say, let me just give all of them 2,000 because I want to make sure that I have increased my awareness. Then also my accessibility, which is being determined by the sales budget, I'll also decide to give it 2,000. So I want to give it 2,000. Because I want to increase both my awareness and accessibility, I'll have to invest in my sales and promo budget. Then the next one is my pricing. So I'll not change my price for Able product. I'll leave it 28. Also for Eka, I'll not change it. Again, I'll not change my pricing for Adam. Then for After, I'll give it, let me say, at 4.5. And also for AGAP, I'll give it 34 and 50 cents. So also 34 and 50 cents. In my forecasting, because I've made another video on how you can forecast on your product. Well, I forecasted and noted that I'll be able to manage 1,560 units in Able. Then I can manage to sell 2,320 units in Eka. I will also manage to sell 680 units in the high end, so 680. Then also in the Aft market segment, or in the performance market segment, Aft will manage to sell 600 units, and AGAP will manage to sell 550 units. 550 units. So I'll recalculate. After recalculating, we see that we have my benchmark prediction. So this benchmark is just it just shows you the approximation but not the real value. So the next thing is production. Under production, here we make decisions in 3 areas. So we have the production schedule, we have the capacity area, and the automation area. So we'll start with this production schedule. Because I'm projecting that I'll be able to sell 1,560 units and I have 189 units in inventory. I can decide to produce, let me say I'll be able to produce 1400 in this one. Then for this one, so let's say 2310. Then in the other markets, in the high-end market segment, which is product other, I'll manage to produce 650 because we have this inventory. So I'm just trying to factor in the inventory and the production after adjustment. Then aft, I'll say 550, and agap I'll say 480. So I'll recalculate. After recalculating, we see that this production after adjustment is lower than production schedule. So this can be attributed to, let me say, the AP, the account payable and the account receivable, because if maybe you don't pay your suppliers earlier, they not be able to deliver the materials on time. So my production after adjustment is lower than my production schedule. So next, let's go to capacity. And because my second shift production is less than 0%, and I feel like I'm having idle capacity, I can decide to sell some capacity in this plant. So I'll sell 300. Then for this one, because I feel like I'm going to have an increase in demand, so I'll buy a capacity of 100. Then for this new product, because I want to sell it in the coming future, I'll have to invest in its production. So I'll invest in a capacity of 300. So let me just calculate. Now, after recalculating, we see that I'm having here is the amount of money that can, so this is the maximum investment, the amount of money that I can be able to spend in this round in the production area. So because I want to make sure that I'll reduce my pricing and I have to have some better margins, so I'll decide to reduce my labor cost. So I'll reduce my labor cost by investing in automation. So I'll give this product an automation of 6. This low end, I'll give it an automation of 7. So in this simulation, make sure that with this low end product, ensure that you are automating it as fast as possible, because you want to save on, you want to reduce the labor cost, and you want to make some margins. Then in the performance product, in the performance market segment, this product I'll give it an automation of 4, because there the materials are expensive, and I'm trying to get the margin by reducing the labor cost. So let me say that's my decision in production. Before I venture into the finance segment, let me check on my balance scorecard to see what are my projections in this round. So if you look at my balance scorecard, I see that I'll not be able to make more profit in this round, because most of the fund is being used in the development of the plant. So I'll not be able to have more profits. Then my contribution margin is low. Also, my days of working capital is less. So to increase my days of working capital, I'll have to go into the finance. So before I go into the finance, also I'll check the ratios. So let me check my ratios in this round to see what are my ratios, what am I positioning. So my cash flow is negative, because most of my funds is being used to fund the plant. Then also my days of working capital are 0, and my working capital is low. But don't worry about this, because I want I can try and improve it by investing in my finance department. So let's go into the finance. In this, and also in this round, you are not going to make any decisions in the human resource, because the human resource has not opened. So let's go to finance. Under the finance, we see that I'm being projected that I'll be having a negative, so these are signs of emergency loan. But since I have various ways where I can get the funds, so I'll decide to issue stock worth of 10,000. The current debt also worth of 10,000, and I'll issue long-term debt the maximum, so I'll take 18,994. Then I'll calculate. So after calculating, I'm having my cash position as of December 2024 is 30. So this is 30,403. So let me check on my balance scorecard to see if I have improved. So I'll come into my pro forma. If I check on my balance scorecard, I'm projecting that my score for this round is 59.8 out of 82. So this is good, because this being the first round, we are just focusing on improving and developing our plant, so that in the later rounds we can focus on making profit. So that's it for today, guys. Let me